The following is a presentation of the Matt Talk Podcast Network.
Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow somewhere else. You know what? I made my bed. I'm going to lie in it. I moved here. Like the point counterpoint in the movie Airplane, they bought their tickets. They knew what they were getting into. I say, let them crash. Well, let me shiver. This isn't the weather report for New Brighton, Minnesota, but it's close. Welcome to Short Time Shots, your mostly daily look at the world of wrestling scores and more from around the world. I'm Jason Bryant. The Minnesota Beer of the Night time. Yep, in preparation for the NCAA Division I Wrestling Championships, which are here in Minnesota. When I'm having a beer while putting this show together in the evening, I will enlighten you with the particular information about said beverage. Tonight, it's probably from my favorite or second favorite Minnesota brewery, the State Brewing Cooperative. This one's called Spirit Foul, and it's a super rare combination, or collaboration rather, with Modern Times Brewing out of San Diego, which is Spanish for a whale. Well, never mind. It's a hazy IPA, which I'm starting to come around to. And here's the thing. I'm not going to give you information about the flavor profile and the hoppy notes and the cracker and the bread-like. Yeah, no, I'm not going to give you something snooty like that. There are other pretty good beer podcasts out there that will do that. This is not a beer podcast. I will include beer in this podcast, but anyway, I like to try various libations and I like to drink various beers. This is one I've gotten my hands on each of the last 3 years. It's hard to find and sells out quickly. I will not ever be featuring Bud Heavy on this show, so sorry, Willie. Oh, and if you're on Untappd, find me there at Jason Bryant 12. One word, numbers at the end. In dual meets on Wednesday night, the Chancellor's Cup took place as UW Eau Claire won the first 7 matches and cruised past UW Oshkosh 25-9 in Eau Claire. The Blue Golds, yes, the Blue Golds, were solid, picking up 4 major decisions en route to the win. We're not sure where UW Eau Claire's Chancellor is going to put said Chancellor's Cup, but my recommendation is to fill it up with Spotted Cow, a fine Wisconsin beer, and drink it from the cup like it's a chalice. By the way, bad news, you can't get Spotted Cow in Minnesota, so if you're a fan of that Wisconsin beverage when you come here for nationals, you better stop in Hudson before you cross the border to get in here, because you can find it here. In the Keystone State, another state known for its fine beverages, Division II Shippensburg topped Division III Elizabethtown 25-13 in E-Town on Wednesday. Wins by Austin Clucker and Dan Berberick at 197 and 285, respectively, enabled the Raiders to pull away for the win. Also in PA, Wilkes defeated Alvernia in that school's first dual meet in school history, 28-12. In Ohio, Heidelberg, wait for it, defeated Wilmington 54-3. Yeah, you're still waiting. It's my goal to teach everyone in this country the great wrestling mascots and nicknames we have. The Student Princes. 1-2. Prince is here before you. Yeah, I'm not quite a boomer. I'm Gen X. I'm not a millennial. Whatever. That was Two Princes by the Spin Doctors, the second CD I ever owned. Anyway, the Student Princes of Heidelberg, yeah, they used to be coached by Army West Point coach, associate head coach, Ned Shuck. As you can see, I'm going one take tonight. Thomas More, which recently reclassified to the NAIA, they're a school in Kentucky, by the way. They defeated the second-year program at Ohio Wesleyan 27-19. Shea Horton, Avery Jones, and Tyler Kassinger picked up falls for the Saints. No Elizabeth Shue references from the Saint today. Or maybe just that one. Another NAIA over NCAA win came in Bristol on the Tennessee side because we don't do that stuff in Virginia. That's stupid. Anyway, in Bristol, Tennessee, Cumberland University beat King University 27-19. Cumberland fell behind early 10-0 before taking the lead for good after Dylan Quinn's 17-10 win over Elijah Davis at 165. Heavyweight Patrick DiPiazza sealed the win for the Phoenix. Yes, Cumberland University changed its name from the Bulldogs to something after a mythical Firebird or Flaming Chicken or a city in Arizona. Benedictine of Kansas, the Ravens, nevermore, taught you that last week. They beat Northwest Tech, a junior college also out of Kansas, 25-19 in a duel that won't actually count for Benedictine. Why? NAIA rules stipulate that only competition against 4-year varsity programs count for duels and individual records. Hey, I don't make the rules. Oddly, if you're an NCAA school and you compete against a junior college, that is a varsity program, those matches do count. And even more interesting enough, this counts as a loss for Northwest Tech. In a match that did count in the NAIA, Providence, say it with me now, the one in Montana, they're the Argonauts, they were impressive in winning all 9 contested matches against Southern Oregon to pick up a 35-6 win. See, I realized I didn't type in Southern Oregon in my notes, so all 9 contested matches against Southern Oregon. 35-6, eliminate double space. Continue reading. In Arkansas, Division 3, by the way, yeah, I write all this stuff out. Yes, it's written out. I can wing it, yeah, but I don't want to spend 45 minutes editing a 10-minute show. In Arkansas, Division 3, the University of the Ozarks beat Arkansas Baptist of the NCAA 51-4. And we will close the scoreboard section of the program with a men's and women's doubleheader as UW-Stevens Point. Oh, that was at UW-Stevens Point. The Pointers swept both matches over visiting Lakeland. UW-Stevens Point won the women's duel 24-19, while the men's duel wasn't as close, and that's treating it nicely. What's not treating it nicely is the Pointers sweeping all 10 matches over the Muskies in a 49-0 drubbing. Now, I want you to know how to get a free month of podcast hosting with Libsyn. Actually, I said the other day that there were 63 active podcasts. Well, guess what? Cody Goodwin's got a podcast now. Jake Torkelson's got a podcast now. Nashawn Garrett's got a podcast. So that's like 66 podcasts that I still need to update the directory at matttalkonline.com/directory. Well, anyway, 20 of those shows are here on the Matt Talk Podcast Network. I get asked all the time about what people need to start a podcast. One of the most important things is a podcast host. There are a couple I believe in, but I do firmly believe in quality comes at a cost, especially with a company like Libsyn, my podcast host of choice. That cost is super affordable. Sign up for Libsyn at libsyn.com and use the promo code MTO to get your first month of podcast hosting for free when you sign up. That means you get the rest of the current month you sign up in and the next month for free. They've got plans as affordable as $5 a month. They've been the backbone of the Matt Talk Podcast Network, and if you do not reach out to me for technical advice, at least hear me on this one. Libsyn.com, use the promo code MTO, and get your free month and more. And again, for full disclosure, I do get a affiliate kickback off of that. Now, notables for the docket. Notables on the docket. I can't even read my own crap. November 14th, Illinois will head to St. Louis to take on Missouri. I need to type Missouri right. Missouri. M-I-Z-Z-O-U. At Francis Howell High School in Division II, CSU Pueblo hosts what's being dubbed a scrimmage against Otero Junior College, while Colorado School of the Mines will probably do the same thing against Northeastern Junior College, which is also in Colorado, while Chadron State heads to the Western Slope to face Western Colorado, a school you might remember as Western State. In Division III, McMurray hosts the Quad, where Pitt Bradford also hosts... Let's try that again. In Division III, McMurray hosts the Quad, period, or semicolon, or whatever, while Pitt Bradford hosts Mercyhurst Northeast of the NJCAA. In a Chicagoland matchup, the Maroons, what a maroon, of the of the University of Chicago traveled to Elmhurst to face Steve Marinetti's Blue Jays. Yes, that's Steve Marinetti. Did you know that the University of Chicago was actually a charter member of the Big Ten in 1896? Yep. An all-Georgia matchup in the NAIA will see Truett McConnell facing Bruton Parker. Central Baptist of Arkansas is at Oklahoma Wesleyan. Providence heads to Eastern Oregon, while out in California, Fresno City faces Bakersfield College, not CSUB. And Skyline is at Modesto. That is in the California Community College system. From the Daily Wrestling News, USA Wrestling and the United States Olympic and Paralympic Committee announced on Wednesday amendments to the 2020 Olympic trials qualification process. The procedures initially made the highest American place winner at the Dave Schultz Memorial a qualifier for the trials. Well, due to scheduling issues, no Schultz this year. So the last chance qualifier now has the top 2 wrestlers in each weight class and style qualifying, with a true second place match instituted if needed. TheMat.com also previews the Women's World Cup as Team USA features world champions Adeline Gray, Tamira Mensah-Stock, and Jakara Winchester. She's not Jakara Lewis-Chester. Yeah, I can't remember who came up with that, but that's pretty good. United World Wrestling also provides an advance of the event, featuring World and Olympic champion Risako Kawai, written by American journalist in Tokyo Ken Morantz for UWW. The saga of Anthony Ecamendia, the Cuban-born Arizona high school star, and his commitment have come to a close. Wrestling's resident online antagonist, Willie Sailor of Mad Scouts, has a position via Rockfin, which the story is free. So there you go, Smalls. Oh, and he's going to be a Buckeye, in case you're wondering. Sam Herring, the 13-year-old who's one half of the Home Mat Advantage podcast, previews the Bill Ferrell at 57 kilos. Yes, I am including content from a 13-year-old. Because he deserves it, and it's probably better writing than half the stuff I come across on the web. Anyway, the kid's also taking Latin. I mean, it might be a dead language, but how many of us know actually more than a few words of Spanish? Like San Diego. Come on. I mean, and yelling Rouge Passif doesn't count, Rob Prebish. Co-Cider Recognition Week was November 6th through... Let's try that again. Co-Cider Recognition Week was November 6th through 12th. COSIDA is the membership organization for media relations professionals in college sports, and the acronym says College Sports Information Directors of America. One of those awesome SIDs who makes our job easier is Michigan's Leah Howard. She pens a piece on Michigan Hall of Famer John Fisher, who will be inducted this week. You can read that on mgoblue.com. Delaware Valley University in New Jersey. No, that's not New Jersey. They're hiring in New Jersey. Delaware Valley University is in Doylestown, Pennsylvania. They are hiring a New Jersey native, and world bronze medalist Lee James is the program's new full-time women's wrestling coach. The school was set to launch a program this season, but a number of hurdles prevented that from happening, none of which seem to be public knowledge. Previous coach Caitlin Baker, a.k.a. formerly known as Caitlin Chase, left her position before the program even got rolling. The Pennsylvania RTC previews its athletes who are set to compete at the Bill Farrell International this weekend at the New York Athletic Club in Manhattan on the edges of Central Park. Flow Wrestling's David Bray also gets in on the Farrell chatter, previewing the 6th women's weights. It's National Signing Day across the country, and Flow Wrestling has a Division I Signing Day hub for you to follow all week as the early signing period has commenced. Intermat features Beat the Street Chicago wrestler Kayla Del Toro, the first All-American from BTS Chicago. Bo Nichols' plans after 2020 are clear. He's going MMA. Bo went on the Luke Thomas Show. That's a podcast about MMA, in case you couldn't quite figure that out. He plans on bringing, or at least somehow figuring out, a way to bring an American top team gym to State College and train out of there instead of relocating. The Pittsburgh Post-Gazette highlights the powerhouse program at Pitt Johnstown and head coach Pat Pecora, who, in case you were not aware, is in his 44th year as the coach of the Mountain Cats. They're loaded with talent from Western Pennsylvania, and Coach Pecora is 15 victories shy of tying the all-time college dual meet record set by the late Dale Thomas. More stuff from the Daily Pennsylvanian. We talked about him yesterday. Today, it's time to feature Penn head wrestling coach Roger Reyna. 40 years ago, he was a freshman at Penn. I just turned 40. Roger, love you, man. You're old. Good stuff from Philly this week. On the network, Virginia Tech head coach Tony Roby talks about the big signees that came the Hokies' way on episode 90 of Inside Virginia Tech Wrestling. Roby will recap the mat on the mound duel, which I actually said mound on the mat a couple times in my social media graphics. I suck. Anyway, he'll recap the mat on the mound duel against Northwestern and look forward to Sunday's tilt against the Ohio State University, currently ranked 3rd in the country. I would have posted the hashtag Pack Mentality Pop-Ins podcast today, but I got busy and my daughter Ruby still will not go to sleep. Maybe I need another spirit fowl. You can get to read those stories and more from Matt Talk Online's daily wrestling newsletter. Sign up for free at matttalkonline.com/news and get the day's top wrestling stories from around the world delivered to your inbox for free every single morning. matttalkonline.com/news. Email, sign up, not a problem. The Matt Talk Online Daily Wrestling Newsletter is sponsored by Resolite. If you'd like to support the show and all the on-demand audio offerings, free newsletters, and historical research, you can support the program and the network by making a small monthly contribution or a one-time donation by going to matttalkonline.com/join the team. Venmo, PayPal, buymeacoffee.com, or Patreon, but the perk with Patreon is that monthly contribution. You'll get the cool perks like compound branded shirts and hats, Matt Talk glasses, Matt Talk digital preview guides, shout-outs on the show, even a chance to be a guest. All that stuff and more by joining the team at matttalkonline.com/join the team. As always, I'd like to thank you for spending your time with me, because you've always got time for a short time, and I freaking did that on one take. Oh man, I'm happy for that. Quality will suffer, but hey, I only had to do it once. I can probably stop the show now.